Hi, this is Dan from Valley Marine, and today we're out on the water on a nice fall day, and we're going to take a look at the Lund 20 Sport Angler. This is one of our most popular boats that we sell out here in the Pacific Northwest. This is actually our demo boat. It's our last one, so you're going to get a chance today to see both the boat itself and some of the options we like to equip on this boat. So the first thing I want to point out is the top on this. This top is really neat in the fact that it's going to enclose 4 people. It is equivalent to a Northwest style top like what you'd find on our Duckworths. You're not seeing it right now, but there is a drop curtain right here with a walk-through door. There's also a bow cover and a wind curtain on this, so we can enclose 4 occupants in here. Plus, behind the top, when the top's up, we still have a ton of room in the back of the boat for fishing, so it's a really, really neat setup. What I like about this particular boat is it gives us the best of both worlds. It's got Lund fishability, but it's still got a usable bow. We're going to go up into the bow section in just a second. With the top off, it's hard to envision right now, but the windshield ends rather abruptly at the driver's seat. So with the top off this boat, it gives a really open feel to it. So guys that like to have more of an open guide style feel to this boat are going to really like it. We actually have guides running this boat that like to keep their clients out of the sun in harsh weather. At the helm, there's lots of room for mounting electronics. As you can see, we've got a 9-inch GPS finder combo from Lowrance here. Tilt steering on this boat is standard. Cup holder, really nice tall windshield, full instrumentation right here. And we're going to work our way up into the bow. We also equip our boats with 2 pedestal seats with air rides for a softer ride, and then 2 bench seats in the back for extra storage. So it's going to seat 4 really comfortably. Moving up into the bow, you'll notice that the bow is a really short bow. It is usable. A single occupant can get up here and fish if they'd like to, or there's a wind curtain that closes this section off, and you can have this all enclosed behind the windshield. What's nice about the boat, though, is you get a lot more storage. There's a small door here, but this storage compartment is huge. It runs all the way from one bulkhead to the other. It's a big storage area, which is really nice. You're not going to find on most of the competitor boats. It's got this particular storage here is for my electric motor batteries and my charger. And then working our way to the front is a live well. And instead of just being a fish box up here, it's a fully plastic insulated live well. So if I'm fishing for species like salmon or trout, I can bleed them in here and keep them fresh all day. And if it's 90 degrees out, I can put ice blocks in here and they're not going to melt right away like they will in a metal box. So plastic and lined like your cooler, or you can run it as a live well if you're fishing for walleye or salmon or walleye or bass, and you're going to be able to keep those fish alive all day. So it's a dual use setup there. In the front here, you can see there's a bulkhead running across here. There's a small door just in front, and while it's a small door, it's a big storage compartment. So I can sit in here and I can reach clear over into this corner. This is all storage underneath here inside this. So lots of usable storage in the boat. And then on top of that, there's a bow cover that covers this section in case you want to enclose this, like if you're going to go up lake, or if it's a really rainy day, you can do that. While we're at it today, we're going to show you how this boat fishes. We've got a Minnkota Ultera 24 volt iPilot on this boat. So we're going to go ahead, turn this thing on and deploy it. And while we're going through the boat, one thing I want to point out, this particular motor is now going to be, for most anglers, is going to be our autopilot now, our primary trolling motor. Regardless of whether you're using it by itself or using it in conjunction with a kicker like we're going to do in a few minutes, this is now our autopilot. It's got better leverage than a kicker will at the back of the boat, and we can use it in tandem with our kicker motor and function as our autopilot, so we're hands-free. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this thing running, and we're going to run downstream. And I'm basically going to let the electric motor steer us downstream without having to do anything else. We'll go through the rest of the boat while this boat's trolling, and you can watch how this control works. So while the motor's running in the front there, we're going to drop the kicker motor down, and we want to run downstream at about 1.5 to 2 miles an hour. But really, with this electric motor, we have infinite control. Go ahead and start this thing up really quick. So what I'm doing in this application is I'm using the kicker motor to assist my electric motor. If I was fishing, pulling plugs, or I was doing some type of trolling where I need to go faster than 1.5 miles an hour, this works really well. If I'm fishing under 1.5 miles an hour, this 24-volt system on this boat will run all day long. We're only using the kicker motor in instances where we have a lot of wind or a lot of current, or we're needing extra speed based on what the lure requires. So what we're going to do is we're going to run right down the river here. We'll stay a certain distance away from the shoreline. All I basically got to do is I'm going to set my Minnkota iPilot on a heading, and I'm going to not do anything else with it. It's going to do everything else, and then we can just go through the boat. And as proof for you guys, I'm going to leave the remote right here. I'm going to just leave it up in the bow. So we're not going to steer the boat. We're going to let it do its thing while we go through the rest of the boat here on the video. And we'll pan out and you can see how the boat's doing its own thing while we're doing this. Moving to the back of the boat here, you can see, like I was talking earlier, lots and lots of room in the back of the boat. A nice thing also on this particular boat is there's rod storage for large rods, oversized rods on both sides. This particular side we can hold 10.5-foot rods. This side here is going to hold 9.5-foot rods. It's going to hold a total of 8 fishing rods. There is storage underneath each of the benches. There's a big lock-and glove box, which you'll see in just a minute. And then moving towards the back of the boat, you can see how cavernous this is back here. This is equivalent to what you're going to see on a lot of our offshore boats. A lot of room back here, but the neat thing is, it is a standard transom. The kicker motor on this particular application has much better leverage than it does on an offshore bracket, so it's easy to reach. I'm not really losing any room in the back of the boat to the standard transom versus an offshore. I've got a lot of room in it. One also includes a standard washdown on the boat, and so I can pull this out as I'm fishing. If I spill something on the floor, I can hose the boat out. And Lund actually designed it so that water can get out in the corners, either that corner or this corner or underneath, so we don't have water pooling inside of the boat. Last but not least, there's a cutting surface back here, so if I want to cut bait, I can. And then there's a boarding ladder off the back of the boat as well. And the neatest thing about it, and people don't think about this, but we're running hands-free on this boat right now. Between the kicker motor and the Minnkota, basically I don't have to do anything. It allows the driver to spend more time working with rods, tying up another lure, eating their lunch, whatever that is. You spend less time driving the boat and more time fishing. Come on back here a little bit. You can take a look at our sonar. We're holding 2.42 miles an hour, and we can actually, I can see my speed over ground right here, and I can adjust that either with the kicker motor or with the bow mount electric by just bumping it up or down just a little bit in speed, and the control is just excellent. So we're going to move that down. So I guess I'm taking my word back a little bit. We're going to come back here and we're going to throttle this down. We're just going to move that down a little bit, and we're going to watch that drop down. I've just moved my speed on the electric motor. This has got 20 forward speeds. I bumped that down, and now we've dropped our speed down to just over 2 miles an hour, and I'm able to hold that. Again, I'm going to throw this up there, and basically we're not having to sit at the back of the boat, steer the kicker motor all day long, or worry about the electric motor running out of power. we're able to be hands-free and we're having a great time running the boat. This particular boat right here, what's really neat about it, it's got an ultra-wide bottom. It's extremely stable, much more stable than most of the boats it competes against. It's very affordable. It's a very popular boat. And for most of the guys fishing Eastern Washington or Northern Idaho, it's just a phenomenal setup that's really, really tough to beat. Last but not least, this has got Lund Sport Track system, so I can put rod holders or downriggers in these, move my rod holders wherever I want. I've got guides running this boat that can run 3 to 4 downriggers off of it, still have room for a lot of crew, and keep a really affordable overall price in a 20-foot boat. Very neat boat. I recommend you check it out. This particular boat is the last 2017 demo that we have. It's going to be at a special price, but don't hesitate on one of these. At least set us up, come see us, and we'll take you out on a demo ride. Thank you very much.